Welcome to the ultimate battle of the best robo-advisors for 2026. I'm going to compare and rank the four leading robo-advisors from Vanguard, Betterment, Schwab, and Fidelity. I have personally used all of these four different robo-advisory services. I've developed a scoring system to compare all of these models head to head and broken down the scoring system into four different subcategories and hang on till the end because I'll rank them the worst to the best. Hi, I'm your host, Dr. Abhishek Gadre. I'm a practicing physician, and welcome to the Money Matters MD Show. These robots and their underlying AI models continue to improve every single year, and you'll be surprised to know how they can outperform majority of the individual investors on this planet. Now, a human financial advisor will charge you an average around 1% AUM fee to manage your portfolio. A robo-advisor, on the other hand, will be way cheaper than that. And they continue to get better, so they're worth taking a look. The overall scoring system is going to be out of 100 points total, and I'll break it down into four different categories. The category number one is going to be portfolio and investment quality, which is 20 points. The second one is going to be the cost of ownership, which is out of 30 points. The third one is tax efficiency, which is 30 points. And the last one is human factors, which is also about 20 points. Now, the human factors is basically a salad of a bunch of subjective factors like the UI experience, the amount of customizability, and the built-in guardrails within these models, and if they have optional human assistance. Not all four categories are weighted equally because I thought certain categories are more important than others. And I know this is completely subjective, but I hope you agree with me and it's helpful to you in the end. So let's jump right in. The first category is portfolio and investment quality. Now, most of the robo-advisors do a pretty fine job in this category because most of the models default to a low-cost, broadly diversified ETF-based portfolio which diversifies you within the US and ex-US, which is international equities. And they'll also buy you into some bonds. I'm going to give Vanguard 20 out of 20 because it basically puts you in a very low-cost diversified portfolio, which includes VTI, VXUS, BND, and BNDX. So these are the globally diversified equities and bonds, and they're extremely low cost. So I think that's an excellent portfolio to have. Now, Betterment, I'll also give a 20 out of 20 in this category because it has a very, very similar low-cost Vanguard or maybe Schwab type ETFs. Now, Schwab Intelligent Portfolios, on the other hand, I have a problem with. Now, Schwab Intelligent Portfolio is as such completely free, and they don't charge you any assets under management free, but they seem to have this hidden 6% cash track, which I'm not a big fan of. That's how they make their money from you using the portfolio. So let's say you put $100,000 in Schwab Intelligent Portfolio and you put it in the most aggressive investment category. You want all equities. So you'll only buy 94,000 in equities and it'll force you to buy 6% in cash. Now, back in June 2022, SEC actually sued Schwab Intelligent Portfolios for misleading clients for having a free service while they were secretly kind of charging money on the back end by having too much excess cash allocation in their portfolios. And they actually made a $187 million settlement because of this. And the only minor change they made is they increased the interest on the cash allocation that they were providing. So again, the cash allocation doesn't give you the same amount that a money market fund cash allocation will give you, but it gives you a slightly higher than zero interest rate. And for that reason, I'm going to give a 12 out of 20 score to Schwab Intelligent Portfolio in this category. Now, the more conservative investment portfolio you choose, your cash allocation continues to tend to increase within Schwab Intelligent Portfolio. And I've seen it as has more than 20% cash. And I think that can act as a whole lot of drag in these portfolios. Now, Betterment portfolios mostly default to low-cost ETFs from Vanguard, iShares, and Schwab, but they do have a few more little gimmicky options, in my opinion, from Goldman Sachs, which are active and tend to, end up giving you a lower yield than the default index options. But I still overall absolutely love the default options from Betterment. Now, Fidelity Go is also excellent in the portfolio and investment quality options. I'll give Fidelity Go 20 out of 20. So Fidelity basically puts you in zero-cost Fidelity Flex mutual funds. And they're also globally diversified, and they also diversify between equities and bonds based on your risk appetite. Now, one thing which does stand out in the portfolio and investment options category is the glide path which these robo-advisors assign to you. Now, Vanguard's Digital Advisor takes into account a whole bunch of personal factors like your income, your spouse's income, and your personal goals and your current portfolio. And even portfolio outside of Vanguard, you can actually sync your Fidelity and Schwab portfolio with Vanguard. So the Vanguard Robo-Advisor will take into account all of these external assets that you have to come up with a optimal glide path. And not a lot of other of these models I've seen. I don't think any of the other models seem to have done that in my experience. If I'm wrong, please do let me know. But I love how holistic Vanguard is in their portfolio approach. Now let's talk about the cost of ownerships. I'm going to subdivide this category into the investment expense ratios for 10 points and the assets under management fee or the advisory fee, which is going to be 20 points. Now, Vanguard Digital Advisor continues to impress me. I'm going to give this around 29 points out of 30. It defaults you to low cost Vanguard ETFs, which are extremely, extremely low cost. The Vanguard Digital Advisor is the cheapest option out of all. Now, there are a few free options. We'll talk about them later, but Vanguard charges around 0.15%, which is 15 basis points to get you in the door for their low cost passive portfolio. And you won't have any human advisor access in this particular option, but you can add 10 basis points. And at 25 or 30 basis points, you will have access to a human advisor. You might pay as high as 40 basis points if you're interested in their active fund offerings and also want to access a human advisor. Now, Betterment also does extremely well in this category. Overall, the expense ratios of all the ETFs in the portfolio are very, very low. So I'll give 10 out of 10 in that category. It is also on the cheaper side when it comes to the AUM fee. The basic model charges around 0.25%, which is also on the lower end. And there really aren't any hidden fees, which I like about Betterment. So I'll give 18 out of 20 to Betterment in that category, totaling around 28. Now, Schwab Intelligent Portfolio, again, does a good job with low-cost ETFs. And it is completely free. It doesn't charge any AUM fee. But again, I've already talked about how Schwab charges you a hidden fee in kind of way of a cash drag, which you really can't get rid of. Even though it's a zero fee model, again, it does score highly in this category. I'll give it around a 29 out of 30. Now, Fidelity Go is free to use for the first $25,000. But again, most long-term investors will end up having more than $25,000 if you're going to use this model for long term. Fidelity Go charges 35 basis points, about 0.35% for more than $25,000 portfolios. So I'm going to give it around 60 out of 20 in the AUM fee category, and I'll give 10 out of 10 in the expense ratio category. So total around 26. Now, category number 3 is the tax efficiency. Now, tax efficiency is extremely, extremely important, especially when it comes to taxable brokerage account. Now, this category is not going to be relevant at all in the Roth IRA or traditional IRA, which a lot of these portfolios can manage as well. But in my mind, tax efficiency is probably the number one reason I would personally go for any of these robo-advisors. Because if you're just investing in your Roth IRA or traditional IRA, you can just invest in a single one fund portfolio offering. Now, I have made a separate video about a one fund portfolio approach, and I have ranked 6 different one fund portfolio options in a different video. If you're interested, do check that out. But if you're thinking of investing in a taxable brokerage account, I think considering a robo-advisor does help because it helps with tax loss harvesting, which is otherwise quite tedious. And tax loss harvesting can give you a extra alpha of all the way up to 0.5% of excess returns because of the tax benefits that it provides. Tax loss harvesting is a whole different topic by itself, but assuming you know what it means, tax loss harvesting basically harvests capital gains whenever your portfolio actually takes a hit and takes a loss. It sells that position and buys a similar position while you're still continuing to grow, but you actually cash a loss in your portfolio. You can actually take advantage of the first $3,000 of capital losses against your earned income. So let's say you live in California and are in a high income bracket. You might be paying 37% federal, 12% California, and 4% FICA tax. So that might be up to 54% marginal income tax rate. So if you save $3,000 of income, you're straight away saving more than $1,500 in cash because of you signing up for this feature. Now, the second way these robo-advisors save you money in your portfolio is by tax efficient investing. Now, what do I mean by tax efficient investing? So there's a concept of tax location or asset location. Where you put your asset matters. So you really don't want to buy an actively managed mutual fund with a whole bunch of buying and selling activity, which will create a whole bunch of capital gains within your taxable brokerage account. And you may not want to buy a regular bond if you're a high income earner in a taxable brokerage account. You want to stick with a low cost, broadly diversified ETF. and you want to maybe default to a municipal bond based portfolio, especially if you're in a high income tax bracket. Those are a few different factors which some of these models do excellent at, and some of the other models don't really pay much attention at all to. So really pay close attention to the tax efficiency category, because I think this is literally the most important category, which puts the best one from the worst one apart. Now, Vanguard does an excellent job at asset location. So if you're choosing to invest in a taxable brokerage account and use Vanguard Advisor, Vanguard will not let you pick an active mutual fund based portfolio, which is an excellent option. So it really saves you from the behavioral risk of picking the wrong option for your portfolio. Also, Vanguard defaults you to municipal bonds, your state-specific municipal bonds, especially if you live in California and New York. I think Vanguard is an excellent option for high-income earners because it does default you to municipal bonds, and you don't have to actively make that choice. So I'll give it 15 in the asset location optimization category and 15 out of 15 in tax loss harvesting, so total 30 out of 30 in this category. Now, Betterment, on the other hand, doesn't do such a good job in asset location. It will actually let you pick the active Goldman Sachs based ETF, which I personally don't think is the best option to pick in a taxable portfolio. Now, if you're interested in Goldman Sachs active ETFs, go ahead and pick them in your Roth IRA, but I don't think you should pick them in a taxable brokerage account. So behaviorally, that mistake is possible. Again, Betterment will also not default you to a municipal bond-based portfolio for high-income earners. So I'm going to give it 10 out of 15 in the asset location category. But Betterment does just a fine job in the tax loss harvesting category, so I'll give it 15 out of 15 in that category. So for the tax efficiency section, Betterment will get 25 out of 30. Now, Schwab Intelligent Portfolio, I'll have to give it a gold star, just like Vanguard. It does absolutely brilliantly in asset location, and it does absolutely well in tax loss harvesting. I'll give it 15 out of 15 in both categories, totaling 30 out of 30. Now, Fidelity Go does a great job in asset location. It defaults you to a passive index fund offering, so you really even can't pick any active mutual fund options within the taxable account, so that's excellent. It does also default you to municipal bonds, but a big caveat for Fidelity Go, it does not offer tax loss harvesting, so you're totally missing out on that option. So if you are investing in a taxable brokerage account, I would probably stay away from Fidelity Go. So total, I'll give it 15 out of 30 in the tax efficiency section. Now, I do have a whole separate video about asset location and tax efficient investing, and I'll attach the link below. Do check it out if you're interested. Now, one quick little thing before we move on. A lot of you viewers right now are not my subscribers. If you like the quality of my videos, please subscribe to the channel so that the algorithm knows that I'm making good quality content, so that I can show it to other viewers just like you. Now, if you're listening to me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any other podcasting service, please consider giving it a 5-star rating. Just so you remember, this is not financial advice. This is just for educational and entertainment purposes only. Now, before we jump into the final rankings, I want to cover the fourth and final category, the human factors. Now, this is basically a salad of 4 different subcategories, which are all subjective categories, but the total score is 20, and all the subcategories are about 5 points each. Now, the software UI experience is the first subcategory within the human factors. And Vanguard has really struggled with the software UI experience. Over the last several years, they have significantly worked to improve their software UI experience, but I'll have to give it the lowest score out of all. I'll have to give it 2 out of 5 because they do have a lot of room to grow, and they can definitely improve their mobile app because, a lot of, especially younger investors, like to have a good mobile app. They don't want to log into a website every single time to make a transaction. Now, pretty much all other 3, I'm going to give a 5 out of 5. Betterment, Schwab, and Fidelity Go, all 3 of them do an excellent job, and they all have excellent mobile apps as well. So they get a 5 out of 5 in the software UI experience. Now, the second subcategory is customizability. Now, mind you, customizability and options is a good thing, but it is a double-edged sword because you want options and optionality, but you may not necessarily know which options are good for you and which are bad. So I think customizability and the built-in guardrails is kind of a spectrum and a balance which these robo-advisors have to go by. So for customizability, I think Vanguard overall has the lowest amount of customizability options. I'll give it 2 out of 5. But on the built-in guardrail, I'll give it 5 out of 5 because it's really difficult actually for you to come up with a bad overall portfolio. Now, for Betterment, it actually has a whole bunch of different options. It gives you a growth tilt option. It gives you a tech tilt option. It even gives you a crypto option and gives you an active Goldman Sachs investment option. So there's a whole bunch of bells and whistles, but maybe not all of them are great for you. So it does have optionality, but I would say built-in guardrails. So I'll give it 5 out of 5 for optionality, but I'll have to give it 2 out of 5 for built-in guardrails. For Schwab Intelligent Portfolio, I will give it 3 out of 5 for optionality. It does give you a couple different options. It gives you an option for tilting your portfolio more towards the US versus a globally diversified portfolio if you wanted. It doesn't have many more other customizability options other than that. I think the built-in guardrails are pretty solid, so I'll give it 5 out of 5 in that category. Now for Fidelity Go, again, the optionality is pretty limited. I'll give it 2 out of 5, but for built-in guardrails, I'll have to give it 5 out of 5. Now the last subcategory is the optional human assistance. Now across the board, all of the 4 different robo-advisory services give you an optional access to a human advisor if you want above a certain portfolio limit. It does often come with slight excess fee, but I think it's an excellent optional extra. I don't think any of the robo-advisors really stand out within their offerings in this category. All right, so now is the time to total all these scores up and declare a winner. So I'll rank them worst to the best based on the total score. Now rank 4 is Fidelity Go, which has scored 78 out of 100 points. Now the biggest hit Fidelity took was within the tax efficiency section because of the lack of tax loss harvesting. Again, personally, I think the main reason to use a robo-advisor would be to have access to this tax loss harvesting because it does provide that optional extra. Now, data suggests that that extra alpha from tax loss harvesting could be as high as 0.5%, which is more than the underlying AUM fee for most of these robo-advisors. So for that reason, Fidelity gets the lowest rank. Now, rank number 3 is Schwab Intelligent Portfolios at 89 out of 100 points. And the main reason it's not in the top 2 is because of that cash drag. I've already mentioned this multiple times earlier in this video, but again, that's my major gripe with Schwab Intelligent Portfolios. Again, I've used all of these portfolios personally, and I just didn't like the 6% cash drag that it put there and the fact that it kind of acts as a hidden fee. And on the cover, it says it's a free service, but it really is charging you some amount of effective cash drag based fee. Now, one of the best options for 2026 is Betterment, which I'll rank number 2. It scores a whopping 90 out of 100. I think it has excellent underlying low cost diversified portfolio. It does really, really well in tax loss harvesting. Now, as long as you stay away from some basic behavioral mistakes and don't end up picking their gimmicky options like the active Goldman Sachs ETF within your taxable portfolio, and make sure you're opting for the municipal bonds, which it does have an optional offering. It doesn't default to that, but you can choose it if you want to. So Betterment is a really good option, and it is one of the cheapest options out there at 25 basis points. So I'll give that second rank for 2026. Now, the overall best robo-advisor for 2026 is Vanguard Digital Advisor at 93 out of 100 points. I think overall it does an excellent job in all of the various different categories, which I personally think matter the most. I know, again, the underlying UI experience is not the best. They're working on it, but the underlying investment and tax efficiency and cost of ownership, all of those factors, in my opinion, matter a whole lot more. I'm okay with a little bit of a clunky website as long as it's making me money and it's cheap and it's passively just generating tax loss harvesting and capital gains for me every single tax year. And I think overall, the benefits you get out of it, I just absolutely love what it does. It takes into account your overall portfolio, even outside of Vanguard. It considers a whole lot of different options other than just the few questions that other models tend to ask. So I think Vanguard model is a lot more holistic, and I'm sure they're going to improve the website experience over the next few years. But again, in my opinion, if you have to just passively start investing, I think all of these robo-advisors are excellent option, especially for a taxable brokerage account. You don't have to every month log in and make an investment and think of what ETFs you're going to pick. You can just automate the process. And I absolutely love automating your investment portfolio, especially the taxable brokerage aspect of it. I personally use it myself. I think it's a really low cost way of doing it. And then you just don't have to think about it ever. It's mostly just set it and forget. Now, if you have any questions and comments about any of these models, please comment down below. I know I couldn't accommodate a lot of these other models. I've only used these 4, and that's why I wanted to put these 4 head to head. If you want me to cover any other robo-advisors, please comment down below. I would love to review them if you're interested. Now, if you learned something useful today, please subscribe to my channel and like and share this video. Thank you for watching. Money Matters MD, over and out.